Hi, friends. People often think that they need to have all original models when creating a VR demo, making everything from scratch. For a final commercial game, you'll probably want your own style that sets your work apart from others. However, creating from scratch at the start will slow down your process. Initially, I'd gray box scenes or levels, but maybe you've already done that and want to get more representative models in your project. In this case, I suggest curating or sourcing your assets so that you can get your vision started, more quickly prototype, and then replace those placeholders later as needed. In this video lesson, I'll let you know what to look for regarding 3D assets so your application performs well on the MetaQuest 2. I'll also share my favorite resources for finding 3D models. This is Flutter VR Design, building magical universes with me, Flutter. First, let's talk about what curation means in design. Establishing a certain look for your game is no doubt obvious when you create from scratch with original models and art. However, I think you can still achieve your unique style if you're a good curator. Let's think about graphic design for a moment. When creating a brochure, a graphic designer looks through stock images, icons, and other graphic elements because reinventing the wheel is often unnecessary and time-consuming. People don't normally create a font from scratch for a marketing piece, but will spend time on a company logo font, for example. Think of this like spending most of your time on a focal point of your game, whether a main character or perhaps the look of the UI. Like graphic design, you don't have to make every single thing from scratch if you can find assets that match the look you're going for and pair well with original models you create yourself. And now you're on your way to establishing your style and vibe. When you have some knowledge of Blender, that helps because then you can edit and tweak those free or paid assets to look like what you're trying to achieve. Another idea is to create concept art and then find the right 3D artist to hire, giving them your concepts and direction so they can execute your vision. What should you look for when sourcing 3D models? Looking for low poly models is a good first step. FBX is the file type for Unity, and if a Blender or OBJ file is available, you can convert those. Before we check out the resources I like, let's take a look at this great page on the MetaQuest website. Vertex count is really important to consider. I'd aim for about 200K vertices, maybe 300K max. Technically, you should be able to push close to 500K vertices, but only if you're rendering items that use unlit, solid color shaders with no textures and minimal vertex shaders. When I say 200K vertices, this means total rendered and not total in the scene. 100K vertices in the editor means at least 200K total in the headset because I'm considering each eye. If you want shadows from a real-time directional light, I'd subtract about 50K vertices. Technically, again, you can push that 500K triangle number for Oculus, but you'll want to budget for visual effects, post-processing, and other things to make your scene look good. Terms you'll hear are heavy on Unity or expensive. We can talk about budget in another video. For now, when you hear those terms, think like you're budgeting for a film. You have a certain amount of money allocated to pay for lighting, the talent, the location. The same is true for your game. Remember that Oculus 2 is standalone and basically an Android phone on your face. Where to find vertex and triangle counts in Unity? In Unity, we can find information about the triangle count and vertices by clicking on any of the mesh pieces in this project window here. Right now I have the butterfly body selected, and in the inspector I can see how many vertices and triangles are on that butterfly body mesh. This is a fairly big model because this is a model that would be closer to you, maybe even land on your hand. For butterflies as a visual effect, I would probably do something more like with 2D sprites as a particle system. but this is a nice larger model if you needed that. And if you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get to download this animated butterfly, and you can find out how to do that by going to the About on my channel. Now, what's cool is that low poly has its own aesthetic, which I really like. Walkabout Mini Golf is maybe one of my favorite games, which uses this aesthetic and enhances the look of their environments and models with beautiful lighting. When I played video games many years ago on systems like Atari and ColecoVision, those were very low resolution graphics, but your imagination would fill in the rest. One day, today's low poly VR look might become cool and retro like 8-bit has. What are my favorite resources? There are 4 different websites that I like to go to when I'm looking for 3D assets. The first one being the Unity Asset Store, which is really great. You can go into the search bar here and type something like wings. And then you can start looking for different wings. And of course, you can sort by, price, low to high, find out what's free first and go from there. And then I really like CG Trader because it has a really great filter. If you click on low poly, you'll automatically filter everything that's low poly. And then if you really just want free assets, you can click on free. So I just really like this filter because it's very quick. And then Sketchfab is another site that I go to. What I like about this is you can create collections and then you can share the collections by just simply copying on this link and then sending it to someone. Also, so let's click on this awesome School of Fish. And on the right here, you can see, what kind of 3D formats this is available. And then you've got, the geometry here, how many triangles and vertices, and if there's any PBR or, textures and materials included. And then the last site that I really like is Poly Pizza. And here we see a garden, and it's about 18,000 triangles. And now remember, this is like its own little scene. What's kind of nice about this is you might want to just use this for a demo, have a character maybe there, different interactions, and just have that all take place into this little area. So that's nice to consider that, you want to keep your prototypes and demos really small so you could really show off all the interactions that you want to do, and it can just be a piece of a larger game. Once you're ready, build to your headset immediately to see how the space feels with your initial models and iterate from there. Doing this in increments is good because if anything fails, it'll be easy to spot. Let's say you add a certain model or effect, and then you get a huge lag. You'll know what to take out and see if things work better without it. Then try something else. Before we go, I want to mention that I like to give credit to the 3D artists who have created the models I use in my applications, even if they're free assets. I usually list this in a text document on my website or at the end credits of a video walkthrough. I appreciate the skill and time it takes to create 3D models and visual effects, so giving these artists credit is not always 100% necessary, but it is kind. Thanks, friends! That's it for this video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you appreciate my content.